Hello folks, right around the corner from that big old home there that got put to the arson's torch last year was a second home that he also put to the torch. And straight ahead you can see the cupola on top of the wood Upjohn mansion right there. We're here in the Vine Street neighborhood, and right up here is the other home that sucker came inside there, and it was blazing out those windows. I have a video on it. You can see it in an earlier video, and there it was right there. And the beautiful little home there next door and so forth. On the corner here, of course, used to be a gas station back in the day. Then it turned into an outlet of Paris Cleaners, and it's been a lock shop and a key shop for a long time, locksmith shop. All right, we'll go over here. The corner right here is old first building of K College and on. But just after, and as they were putting the fire out back there, another fire erupted down here, and about half of the firefighters left that scene. They were able to disconnect and leave and come down here and fight this one. And it was the same guy that set them. He was down, did this one, and then walked on down here and set this one, and then he headed elsewhere and set a couple of others over the next about 2 weeks. It's all history. They caught him and so forth. Now here we go. Show you where the other location was, and I have a video of this too. I came down here, firefighters all took off and headed down here. I went around the block and came in from a different direction. You don't want to get in anybody's way. And the fire was right back here. We'll take a look in just a second. Also, you can see here the old Kalamazoo homes here on the corner. Probably 1930s, maybe 20s, with brand new residences built next door. Those are for elderly, I believe, the residences. But these homes are pretty cool looking, as you can see from the day. Now, right up here is where the second fire took place. Down this little court in this building right here. A little storage barn from back in the day. You can see there's windows knocked out on the old home over there next to it. I don't know what condition that's in. We ought to go take a look. And I know for a fact back in the day of the middle to late 60s, early 70s, Amish people lived here, rented this home, and served up at the hospital. They were conscientious objectors and didn't believe in going to war. So they did believe in serving, so they came here and left their farms to be tended by friends and so forth, traveling back down to northern Indiana a couple of times a year and so forth, but working right over here at Bronson Hospital. We became friends with these folks, and I still know a few of them today. And when they ever come up to Kalamazoo, they always drive here to the old house. They just can't believe everything else here is gone but their house. There are other houses right here. All right, and over on this opposite corner here on the right, beautiful old Tudor style home right here on the corner. And on, down and over. My grandmother lived right there at the pine tree. All right, I know this neighborhood well. There was a 76 gas station right here on this corner. All right, well, we're gonna find out about this little home back here that looks like it's seen better days. I talked to the gentleman that owns this place right here. This is a nice home. He's got a couple businesses in there. And yep, he was back here when this fire happened. We're very concerned about this back here. Yeah, that looks like she's pretty well boarded up too back up in there. I didn't realize that. There's a name to that court. I can't remember. Oh, it's condemned. There's paperwork right on the porch. I'll be darned. I'll be darned. It takes a lot of disuse to have a what I used to call, and still do, an old growth home become condemned. I'll zoom up. We can't read it, and I'm not going to go on the property, but the writ's right there. Right there. And I can read it from here. Condemned. Unfit for human use. Huh, I'll be darned. Look at the vines all over the side of the house. That's pretty cool in a way, but it sure do rip them up. Oh, here's got a few vines back here too. This is probably maybe why they call this the Vine Street neighborhood. Since the Amish people lived here, this back part of this home had been built on. All right, this house has been added onto. When they lived here, it was just a two-family home. It was just a large single-family home with two Amish families living in there, two couples, and they didn't have any kids yet. So then over the years, it was added onto. Additions were made. All right, gonna get going here. Little grandson's coming over to play. Take a look at these things with him one day. I don't know if those two old homes right there are protected. They are in, especially the pink colored home is in a little bit run down shape. The roofs look like they're holding, but I'm not going to be able to tell you any more than that. Nice architecture along here. I don't know if those homes are protected. There are a lot of them here in the neighborhood that are, and there are some that are not. And if somebody with a better idea comes along, you know, a place like this right here in the corner might turn into a Taco Bell. I'm not sure of that either, but we can't go that way. We're going to go straight here, and actually we're going to go as far ahead here as we can. There we go. There are some, you know, there are historical values and so forth that are known and maybe on the protected list. I would say that this beautiful little home right here is. Okay. And we know that this is a historic site. I'll be right back. I do want to run down here just a second to see a couple of homes that we never see. A good friend of mine grew up right there. Yep. A couple of the old apartment buildings here from back in the day. And some that they're doing a lot of work to, which is really cool. We're on Park in Dutton. We're going to continue this cruise up here through Dutton. Here's another cool older apartment buildings along here. Of course, over here were homes. They were raised and it was turned into Dutton Street Park. How do you like the angles on this beauty? I think it's octagon. It is. It's one of the octagon homes here in Kalamazoo. Very cool. I'll be right back. And we'll just take this up to Burdick. This, of course, was a home turned into a funeral home. You can see the house at the top of the roof of the house line and everything, and how they had over the years renovated it into a funeral home. And then you have a nice property right here. J.W. Bosman, 1909. Now the Tremblay building. A couple of the others going right down here too. Beautiful place here in the corner. Hard to deny that. Look at their portico right back here. Okay, buggies used to pull around back there. Have to remember is that many of these homes, a few of them, not many of them, but a few of these were built in the horse and buggy days, and they had little barns and little buggy places to put their horses, barns, buggy shops, everything. There were wheel makers here, wheelwrights in Kalamazoo. Sometimes I get lost for words when I start talking about horse and buggies and Amish all in the same video. I'll be right back. I used to walk this sidewalk to school every day, 5 days a week. I'm back around where Bronson Hospital neighborhood was. This is the street I walked. And there was a crossing guard here at Park Street, and there's a crossing guard up here at Westnedge. The other streets, Vine and so forth, or Burdick, there were no crossing guards. As we got closer to the school up here, more and more kids would filter in from the left and the right from these homes. Many were single family homes, of course. Heard me talk about that in the past, and so forth. And we go walk right up here. If the light stays green, we'll take you right to my elementary school. And here again, the oldest home in the city of Kalamazoo. It was moved twice, I believe. The Lawrence home. And we're going to talk about that. We talked about Mr. Chapman and some other, the Lawrence Chapmans. It's a beautiful place here, too, apartment. Here is my elementary right here. Walked right up here to the corner of Oak Street. This was our playground right out here. Corner. And we turned this corner. There was a fence there then too. And walk right up here. And this was the entrance of the school right there. They've made it a secondary entrance, making this the new entrance. This was an addition to the school that had just, it was very new. There was a multi-purpose room in there, and you can see all the kids out there right now playing at playground time, and so forth. We got to use that. A couple of our classrooms were in the newer section, but most were over on the second floor. Another home turned into a market right here in Kalamazoo. You can see. All right. Yes, it was a great place to go. I went there in second and third grade, and I can't remember ever being brought to school. I may have, probably was a time or two, but for the most part, I was walking, and so were the other kids. Yes, sir. You look behind some of these older homes, you can still see the carriage barn and so forth, but many of them have been torn down in lieu of garages and making a much larger backyard. This place is all boarded up. Looks like they're doing a gut job on it. I mean, total renovation. See you in the next one. Thank you for watching. I sure appreciate it. There's the Noy level.